Welcome to Donny Crochet's channel, and today we're going to learn how to do a scarf. What you're going to need is your yarn, your hook, your scissors, and your measuring tape. As usual, I've already started for this video, and how I measure my scarves is I divide my the waist measurement by 2. So let's say if your waist measurement was 30 inches, you're going to divide it by 2 and you'll have 15 inches. So you'll do your foundation chain of 15 inches and then you start working on your scarf. I like to work on it horizontally, not horizontally, sorry. I like to work on it vertically as I go up, not around. So what I'm going to do is, as we are making this scarf, I'm also going to show you a different pattern that I've never shown you. It's more like a V. It's a V. It looks like this. I don't know how I'm going to do this so that you can see it. You're going to work in V's, something of this sort. So what you're going to do first, for this, what you need to do is how to make a double crochet or treble crochet, depending on how big you want it. If you want the stitches to be smaller, opt for probably a double crochet or a single crochet, but if you want it to be bigger, you'll opt for a treble. But because I want this to go a bit more fast, I'm going to use a treble. So to do that, I'm going to chain 4. After chaining 4, I wrap the yarn twice. After wrapping it twice, I'm going to go in the very first stitch here, and then I do my second. After doing my second, now we're going to start working on the V's. From here, you're going to chain again 2, 1, 2. Then from here, you're going to skip 1, 2, and on the, what should we do? On the third, 1, 2, 3, you go in. After going in, you work your treble. After working your treble, you'll chain 1, 2, 3, then wrap twice, go in the same stitch, work another treble like that. It will look like this. As you can see, it has formed a V. Then you'll wrap twice again, you'll skip 1, 2, 3, you'll go there on the third, then you wrap 1, 2, 3, wrap twice, go in the same, wrap twice, skip 1, 2, go in the third, one, 2, 3, wrap twice in the same stitch, go again. And this is a repeat pattern for every row, only with a slight alteration on the second. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and you'll keep doing this until you get to the end. Keep working on it. And for this scarf, I'm going to turn it into an infinity scarf, where it's both ends are stitched to become one. So it's going to look like one long piece that has no end. You can either decide to do an infinity or just the normal scarf. When we finish this, it will just basically be the normal scarf that we're used to. So the infinity version is just both ends stitched together. That's what makes it different. If you are a beginner, you can go to my previous videos and learn how to make a slip knot, a single crochet, a double crochet, and how to do a foundation chain. I know my foundation chain looks different than what people are used to, but you can try. I have two versions of foundation chains there. You can see which one suits you best. I find this to suit me best because of the way I like my work to be. Yeah, so make sure you click on the other videos so you can see. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. It's still small, but I still have hope. I know we're going to get somewhere. Hopefully by the end of the year. I know it's a bit ambitious, but it's okay. Hopefully by the end of the year I will be at 1,000 subscribers. I know it seems wild. Right now we are at 12, but a girl can dream. Yeah, yes. So I'm very hopeful about that. So keep working on your trebles all the way to the end. Remember, you skip 2 and work into the third, and then after working the first treble, you chain up 3. After chaining up 3, you work another treble into the same stitch. After working into the same stitch, you skip 2 again, then work into the third. So skip 2, chain up, work up your treble, chain up 3, then work another treble in the same area, then move on to the next area all the way up to the end. And remember, I said if you want like your work to have smaller patterns, go for either a single crochet or a double crochet. Though if you are looking to finish up the work fast and the scarf to have larger holes in it, opt for going for a treble or higher. Yeah, also remember, this is a scarf, you need to work loosely. Don't be too tight with your work. It will create a sturdy effect, and you don't need that for a scarf. It needs to be cozy and soft, so that's why you need it to be loose, and being loose will also create the stretchy effect. Yeah, so we are almost at the end. Don't forget to follow us on other social media platforms at Doni Crochets, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Snapchat, basically just everywhere. It's the same name. And I'll always love to hear from you. tell me in your work if my tutorial helped you create something. I always love to see your creations. We are almost at the end now. Now we're at the end. What you're going to do is work up a treble, your first treble, then what you're going to do now, we are left with 2 more stitches. Yeah, so what you'll do is work up another and work up another. Since I didn't work with I didn't have a specific number of chains, I just worked with what I see suits me best, which is half measurement of my waist. And then now from there, after working up 3, of course I weaved in my end as I moved along. What I'm going to do is chain 4, then I'm going to turn my work. Now we are on to the next row. Yeah, and what you're going to do now, you have 3 here treble crochets. Yeah, first of all you wrap your yarn twice, and what you're going to do is now you're going to work in between the V's. You're going to work in between the V's. So chain 3, then you move on to the next chain, you work up your treble, then you chain 3, another treble. This is what you're going to do all the way to the end. So all the way to the end, you work in between the V's. Basically, that's how you're going to work up this scarf all the way to the end, working in between the V's. That was the slight alteration that I was telling you that was going to happen. But from there, that's the pattern you're going to follow. You work in between the V's all the way to the end, and when now you get to the end, you're going to stitch up both ends. One thing I'd like to tell you is how I connect my ends together is basically I just attach both ends together and still use the crochet hook. I see most crocheters like to use a needle big enough to fit the yarn, and then they stitch it up, but I always find it much easier still using my crochet hook to get to the end. So what I'm going to do is finish up this row, and then the rest of the rows, then I'll come back and show you what you do at the when you reach your end. And how I you know where to stop is basically from your desired length. But if you're looking, since this is an infinity scarf, if you're looking to have it wrap around your neck a couple of times, I'd recommend you do at least 60 inches. But if you just want it to wrap twice, probably you would opt for, I'm not sure, shorter than 60. But if it's for you, you can just wrap it around as you go, as you work through it, and see which stage is long enough for you to stop. But yeah, so I'm going to meet you at the end. I've worked a few rows, and this is what it looks like so far. Actually, I'd made a mistake. There was one triangle I had missed, so I undid it and then I went back and did it again. So what I end up with is I have two double crochets at the beginning and two at the end. That's what happened after I went back and did did the work and then did it again. So what you're going to do is keep working up to your desired length, and then I will meet you there. But as I said, it is a repeat row. This is how it looks like from your view. So the triangles, you work in between the triangles, yeah, as you can see here in this row. Now I'll go in between here and then here and then here and then here and then here. Then when I get to the end, let me do it, then I show you what you do when you get to the end. This color is actually navy green, but I've realized on camera it's seeming to be black, but its actual color is navy green. And next time I'll try and use a lighter color, which will be much more visible than this one. So keep going in between the V's. If you feel like your yarn is becoming a little bit too stiff to pass through, you can always undo it first, then go in again. It shouldn't be so hard to pass it through. So we are doing the last V. After doing the last V, what I have is a V from, sorry about that. I have a V from the previous row, and then I have this one treble crochet. What I'm going to do is I'll use the top of the previous V. I'll go right into it. Then this last one, I'll go in between the previous V and the last treble crochet, sorry. And what it should look like is you have two treble crochets. Yeah, so you'll chain 4, then you turn your work, and then now from here you have the 2 treble crochet a space, then the triangle. You're going to work into the space and you create 1 treble, you chain 3, and then you go into the same space, and what you've done now is created a V, and then you'll work as usual, creating V's in each space until you get to the end. So basically that's just how you work on it. When you get to the end, you remember to work like this. For it will be alternating. So when you're on this row and you have 1 treble and then you have a triangle, when you get to the end you should have 2 or 3, depending on what your design looks like, 2, 3, whatever. You should have treble crochets at the end. Then on the next round now you'll have 1 treble and then 1 triangle. It will be alternating like that. So let me finish. Okay, so I've reached the length that I want to reach. I'll stop here because it's much wider. It's 15 inches by, I think this is 30. Yeah, so if you want to do like a smaller strip, what you can do now is do the 60 inches that I told you. Have it to be, let's say for example, if half of your waist was 15 inches, and then you'll divide that 15 again by 2, and then you'll have 7.5. Now you'll use 7.5 by 60 inches, but since I used 15 inches, I'm going to use 15 by 30. I hope it makes sense, because as it is like this, as it is 15 inches, it's going to wrap many times. Yeah, it's going to create folds. Sorry, it's going to create a lot of folds compared to if I had it just at 7.5 inches. So it depends on what you choose to go with, but basically it's almost the same amount of yarn if you decide to use this method, or if you decide to use the smaller dimension. Yeah, so now let's attach this, and this is how you're going to create the infinity. You basically just attach both ends and you stitch it together all the way to the end, and that's it. So you can use the foundation side where you started to guide you as you go along, to know where to stitch into. So this is how I connect the 2 parts together. I don't use a needle. I still go in with my crochet hook, and I just create slip knots all the way to the end, and it works just fine. Whichever method you decide to use, that's up to you. You can also decide to use different colors. Here you can decide to mix them up if you wanted to have a multicolor scarf. I just showed you how to do for one color. When you're introducing another color, basically you can just attach the new yarn at the end of the row, or I don't know, if you're making a different pattern, maybe you want a different section, let's say maybe here, to have a different color, you can reattach the color here, then move, then attach the old color again. It's totally up to you, and what you decide on doing. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do next after this. Hopefully, oh yes, I have in mind. I have this multicolor top, yeah, that I did on Instagram, and I had somebody from my WhatsApp ask me to kindly do a tutorial for it, and I think that's what I'll do next after this. Yes, that's what I'll show you. And as usual, like, share and subscribe, and remember, I'd like to hear from you guys and to see your work. Tag me, follow us on all socials at Donny Crochet. The logo is Donny's. You'll see it. I think I have it up on all my socials right now. It's easy to spot it. It's white on black, and it's written Donny's. So yeah. Keep going to the very end, and I will meet you there, or you can just go along with me as I finish up on this. This is actually a quick gift to do for someone. Even beginners can do this, as it's easy and it's not time consuming. You can literally be done in one day, and that's it. It's also very warm. It will keep you as warm as you need to be, and it's also a nice accessory to add to your closet. I'm going to show you how the finished look is in a bit. So let me finish up on this. When you get to the end, chain 1 or 2, pull up the yarn, snip it. Then what I like to do to weave in the end, I take this end and weave it in between the previous stitches that I just created. So I go in and out, or just wrap it over until it's completely lost into the work. So that's it. This is my simple infinity scarf. So let me show you how it looks like.